My, hello.
Hey.
Tom? Good. I apologize. I was having technical difficulty. I can't blame it on anybody else but me. This is Irene Caudillo, Chief of Staff with the Mayor. Tom, is Tom? Oh, you guys all are muted. That's why. Okay, let me unmute. I got it. Apologies. I just need to unmute everyone. Oh. How do I unmute people?
Hold on, Drake.
Just gave him permission. Right here.
Okay, you should all be able to unmute yourselves now. Yeah, but it looks like they're not able to unmute themselves.
I was able to unmute myself.
Oh, nice.
Yes, same here.
Yeah, I'm not having an issue with mute.
Oh, wonderful. It looks like our chair is then.
Hmm.
Tom?
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Tom. I apologize sincerely.
How's everyone doing on this 16th of October?
Great.
Excellent. Irene, thanks for getting us started. I apologize as well. I'll need to help you out a little bit better on that next time. Well, I know we're getting started late, but for the first couple hours of the meeting, I'd like for all of us to, no, I'm kidding. We'll stay on task. Because time is of the essence, let's get started. Dwayne, I know you emailed me a little bit earlier right before the meeting and said you had a few updates. So let me turn it over to you, please.
Well, we were just hoping to see if sometime this week, because we're wrapping up the Plan KCK and the comprehensive plan. And so Gunnar and the team, they just wanted to know if there was a report from the task force of any findings, initiatives, anything that should go into the comp plan. So they were hoping to see if there's a chance we could even meet sometime this week to cover that, or if there's a document that you guys would like to have submitted. They just want to be able to have all the task force recommendations in the comprehensive plan if we're wrapping this thing up coming close to the end of the month.
Dwayne, thank you for that. I'm happy to meet. I'm going to put Randy Kallstrom on the spot a little bit because Randy has been working with a couple groups to try to engage some professional consultants to come into town to help with a housing plan. Randy, can you give us an update on that? Because Dwayne, I think that ties in directly, but I don't know if the timing is going to be perfect. So Randy?
Yeah, sure. So, Alan House and I have met a few times with Jonathan Pendergrass with KDADS, and had a recent call, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now, regarding Julia Orlando. And for those of you who were at the Housing Summit on Saturday, you got to hear Julia speak, and she's a passionate and wonderful human being, who is the housing coordinator in Bergen County, New Jersey. KDADS has contracted with her to provide technical assistance in Kansas, and she's been doing that in a couple of locales prior to now, but she will be joining Wyandotte County in putting together a county plan, but really looking at a comprehensive plan to end homelessness in our region. So that's very exciting. The other piece that isn't, the ink is not signed. There's no contract, but we have some verbal commitment, or verbal agreement, I should say, for KDADS to help fund housing spanner and long-term look at someone. And Dwayne, I don't know where this fits in with what you're doing this next year, but I was thrilled to hear on Saturday that you're going to be around for another year. So bless you for that. That's awesome. But we also talked to KDADS about funding someone who can help drive and then implement this comprehensive plan to end homelessness in Wyandotte County.
So Randy, thank you. The wheels of bureaucracy will continue to move at their own pace. So it doesn't sound like any of this will be done by the end of this week. But so Dwayne, let's you and I talk offline about meeting and seeing maybe getting something from the task force into the plan. And then Randy, what are some of the timelines that you envision, and what are ways that the community can get engaged and can help with this effort?
Those are great questions, and I have really weak answers to that. I'm afraid. I really don't know how to put a timeline to it. There were a few months that went by between Alan House and my first conversation with KDADS about this. So it's moved slow, but we're continuing to try and move this forward. And in fact, I'll try and get more definitive information this week, or Alan will. Alan is really kind of the point person with KDADS on this. I got brought into it because of the connection with mental health and my relationship with Commissioner Brown, who's the commissioner for mental health with KDADS. But obviously, our organization also is very invested in ending homelessness in Wyandotte County as well. So we'll see what we can find out, but I can't even make a guess.
Does anyone have any questions of Randy or Dwayne on either of those topics? And all those, they're separate topics. I think they are incredibly entwined and will really help kind of set the stage for Wyandotte County and housing for years to come. Anybody have any questions for Randy or Dwayne?
This is Irene, Tom. I don't think I have a question, but I do have something to add. The mayor of several weeks ago joined the Greater Kansas City Chamber on the leadership exchange, where they visited San Antonio. So coming off of listening to Julia, is it Julie or Julia, who spoke at the Housing Summit on Saturday, what was interesting was the dynamics of narrative change and a building that contained in New Jersey, a building that contained shelter, warming center, with much collaboration. He mentioned that was similar to what they encountered in San Antonio. And I think it's a New Haven Center our New Hope Center.
Yeah.
Where plenty of collaboration, coordination. And I think I told Dwayne this Saturday, and I think with the emphasis around listening to narrative change about homelessness was also this thought that it's stabilization with wraparound services to move into job, jobs that were appropriate for folks moving in the direction of affordable housing. So, so I would say the conversation continues from mayor going to San Antonio to what we heard on Saturday. And what I hope is, as Dwayne requests, that not that I promised this, but I did mention it at the housing summit, is that part of Plan KCK should be a long-term plan for housing that includes kind of our discussion of the unhoused. So I throw that out with very much intentions of the leadership around Kansas City, but the mayor kind of hearing and knowing that these two places, meaning San Antonio and New Jersey, built a wonderful facility. So, so we need to think about our approach here in Wyandotte County with narrative change and space and safe space and places for all of that to happen.
Thank you, Irene. And go
if I
ahead.
Excuse me, Tom, and if I could piggyback on what Irene just presented, this is Levert, and you're absolutely correct, Irene. The mayor came back from San Antonio with great ideas, great hope, great promise. And of course, we've got a project staring us in the face that makes the relocation of Willa Gill and perhaps Frank Williams most imminent. And so I'm told that there may be a report presented today by you, Tom, that may identify locations for us to consider. And so I just wanted to say that just to get some bearing on where we are.
Laverne, nice to hear from you. I do not have such a report. Maybe the information got a little bit cross-wired. We are working on such a report, and that is a eminent task that we're trying to help solve with the ninth floor and a lot of other folks. But I don't have anything to update right now. I was going to say, Irene, I love the fact that you're talking about that narrative change, because that is going to be so important to success moving forward in all facets of social service. I know several of us sat around a table not too long ago, and we discussed, why shouldn't this new location, this new service area be the grandest palace of all of Wyandotte County? Why shouldn't that be the lead when someone comes into the community, that they want to see this beautiful place where we are truly serving our neighbors and our residents? So I'm happy about that narrative change comment. So let's pause there for a second, because I see a lot of folks that are on the call that maybe haven't been as engaged with some of these conversations. So we're throwing out a lot of information. We're talking about Plan KC. We talked about the homeless summit. We talked about relocation of Willa Gill and some others. We talked about bringing in an outside consultant to help us do a comprehensive housing plan. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of moving parts. It's all going to coalesce, I believe, I hope. And I think it really is going to move us forward as a community. But does anyone have any questions about any of those things? And we'll make it Randy answer.
This is Linda Barber, and I have to admit, I haven't been as delved into the website as much as I should. Is information about each of those on the site that supports this committee?
Linda, no, that there probably is no information about any of those things on the website about these
Okay,
tax forms.
thank you. I feel so much better.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's
All
an
right.
excellent idea, an excellent idea.
Yeah, I think Linda, Tom, I think that is a great idea. And just a few things, if we're able to do that, and I think it's Haven for Hope in San Antonio, which is one model, and there's some commonalities with that, and Bergen County, New Jersey, where Julie Orlando is from. But Build to Zero is the model that Bergen County used, so that would be a great resource, as well as the San Antonio Haven for Hope. I think that's the name, but
Randy, I think you're right, that it's Haven for Hope. Yeah.
yeah, and it's pretty amazing. I had the opportunity to go there several years ago now, and it's co-located with their crisis stabilization center for substance use disorders and mental health too. So it's a very comprehensive model. But those are a couple things that I think would be really good to kind of post out there. Build to Zero and then the Haven for Hope.
Randy, could you slowly say what county that is and maybe spell it if you know it?
Bergen, Bergen. It's Hackensack, New Jersey.
And what we'll do is we'll get some web links and send that out as a follow-up to the email that you received for this meeting. The most important thing that I have to offer today is you are not seeing Dr. Evelyn Hill. She is out on vacation, I believe, or out of the office. So she wasn't able to participate today, but she does send her regards and wants to make sure that we're moving forward on all these things.
And if I could, again, this is Levert. I'm getting an echo off my mic, but as you know, we toured one site to consider the relocation of Willagill. That site didn't pan out. And we're looking at a number of sites. I'm just wondering, because I thought you guys had a team that was planning to tour sites in St. Louis and other places. Is that moving forward? Have you done some site visits? Can we discuss some of the sites we've been looking at? Well, I'm not going to mention, but what kind of discussions can we have in that regard?
Levert, I don't think there have been any meaningful conversations. I know that some of the social service agencies, those direct service providers, have had some offline conversations, some about the relocation, but really a lot more about just sharing services and kind of what we're doing and getting ready for this cold weather. Certainly, it's open to the floor on any potential sites for relocations or kind of consolidated areas.
Yeah, and Levert, this is Randy. There was some discussions about going to visit a few places for the organizations serving the houseless population here. Coordinating schedules with various folks was just a challenge, and none of that has been able to happen at this time yet.
Tom, this is Mary Smith, and I talked to Evelyn about where Liberty Bank is here, about 5th and Washington Boulevard, about moving the Willa Gillis place over there. And I didn't know if anybody had time to figure out what's going on there. They've been closed for a few months. And I think the orchard there that's right next to it, I think they're not keeping it up anymore. So I didn't know if that property could be, you know, used too. And that would maybe give it a big enough area.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Robert or Irene, do we know anything about the Liberty Bank facility at Fifth and Washington?
I do know that Liberty has moved from that location and we looked at that facility as well as the, what we call the Super Duper building on Fifth and Washington. And for a number of reasons, both sites were ruled out. And then we started looking at maybe building something new at 38th and Minnesota. Someone redirected us back to the West Haven hotel site or motel site. And then, of course, there's the site at 59th and Meadowlark Lane on top of the hill across from the medical building. And so we're trying to kind of build a consensus on what areas we ought to look at.
Levert, without violating any confidentiality or negotiations, can you maybe tell us why the Liberty Bank and the property there on Fifth and Washington, Fifth and State might not be a good location?
I cannot, Tom, I can have a private conversation with you on it though.
Understood. Understood. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, anything else for the group? Looking around, we've got some smart people on the call. Anybody have
Again, I have some. You know, the people
Please.
that come out of jail, I know go to the food kitchen too. And I just think putting it in a little bit further west is going to be a hardship on them. But I don't know.
Thank you.
This is Pam. I agree. Hi, I agree with Mary. We've had extensive conversations about how far is too far that will create a hardship for the clients that we serve. And I think it's been a consensus among the service providers that we need to have a location that is close to where we are, close to downtown.
Hey, and just for all of us that maybe haven't toured Willigill in a while, and can you maybe just give us the briefest of overviews on kind of what the square footage is and some of the services that not only Mount Carmel is providing at the Willigill Center, but also what Hot Lunch Inc. is providing. Do you feel comfortable doing that?
Sure. Well, we've got a little over 10,000 square feet in that building. And we, of course, share it with Hot Lunch Service Inc. Hot Lunch Service Inc. Provides the 1 meal a day, 365 days a year. They do that with volunteers. They have about 52 churches on the volunteer list, and a different church comes every day and serves that meal. And so the way that it functions is we're responsible for managing the facility and providing some program services. So in essence, what we do is we move the people around. We let them in the building. They go through the line. They have lunch. We clean up when they're done. The building closes at about 1 o'clock. And people come back for appointments to take advantage of the programs that we have available for them. We have case managers that help them navigate to get their daily needs met. We have a full service pantry there. We have a phone bank for those who don't have a phone where people can call them if they're looking for housing and whatnot. And we have mail services We have about 600 mailboxes. All of them are not full, of course, but we have about 600 mailboxes. The post office brings their mail. We have a full-time therapist that supports those who have mental challenges. And then we partner with other agencies throughout the community that come in and provide medical services or clothing or you name it, whatever's needed for our homeless population. And then in addition to that, we have events. As a matter of fact, we're having one on the 3rd that will give them backpacks that are filled with things that they need for the winter. And so it's just Mount Carmel's responsibility is, again, managing the facility and making sure that we provide wraparound services that help those that need, that are, excuse me, either homeless or near homeless.
Thank you, Pam. That's very comprehensive. Appreciate that.
And of
So
course,
we-
along
we've
with
been-
that, this is Lavert again.
Yes.
And is there a location worked out yet for a warming center this winter? Does anyone know?
Irene, you will certainly know better than I, but I thought there was a request for proposal from the unified government. And I thought the space was the former unemployment office at 5th and 6th and State Avenue. And that's all I know.
Yeah, I've received recent reports indicating the location at 6th and State is not available. But Irene, I don't know more.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know about this one.
Well, Lavert, that's interesting because we've been told that they were going back in the same building that they occupied last year. And that would have been the unemployment office. So that information has not trickled down to us.
Right. So I was told on Saturday at the Housing Summit that a long-term renter or lease for that building has been found by the owner, and they're moving forward with that, which does eliminate that site as potential warming center. There may be some other conversations that have gone on that I can't really speak to because I'm not sure about them, but about another potential location. But yeah, the site from last year apparently is being leased on a long-term basis to someone, and that's going to take effect soon.
That conforms to the reports I've received very recently.
That's unfortunate news, I think. Do we have anyone from Cross Lines on the call right now?
No, Tom, no one from.
Okay.
Cross Lines is on.
So I pledged to everyone on the call, what I'll do is I'll reach out to Cross Lines and maybe get an update from their perspective on what they're interested in, and maybe some ideas that they have that they'd like to share, and send that out to the group. Cold weather is upon us, so I think this becomes the priority.
Absolutely.
Well, that is disturbing news. I don't want to end on disturbing news, although it is important news, and we will continue to work towards a solution for that. Does anyone have any resources they'd like to share? Does anyone have any events coming up that they'd like to share that would be a community-wide event for everyone? Let's also remember this task force is an opportunity for all of us to share all the great work that is taking place in Wyandotte County.
I don't know if anyone else, but we have the neighborhood summit if anyone's interested, on the 28th of, I don't have all the details, but pretty much all day at the Gloria Willis, is it middle school? Plan KCK, I don't know, Dwayne, do you want to, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about Plan KCK, but I know Dwayne has some dates. And then the kickoff of the 2024 through 2028 CHIP process, the Community Health Improvement Plan. So those are all through the last couple of weeks of October based on different categories, but the kickoff is the 19th.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's Thursday.
I'm saying Thursday. Okay, good. At the KCK school district headquarters, 8:30 to noon.
And you are correct, yes, the neighborhood summit that is on the 28th at the Gloria Willis.
Irene, thank you for that.
So I can just share that as of last week, we opened a Suboxone clinic for opioid addiction. So if anyone knows somebody seeking help for opioid addiction or other substance use disorder, we're now providing that for anyone 18 years of age or older at our 47th Street location.
Awesome. Did you guys get that over to the Livable Neighborhoods office so they can put that in their resource guide?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because that would, I think when they have their neighborhood meetings and stuff like that, and when she sends out her neighborhood like emails, that would be a great thing to have in there.
Yeah, no, it's great. Appreciate you saying that. I wouldn't have thought of it. Thank you.
Randy, if someone needs to get referred today, tomorrow, the next day, what's that process?
You can, really the easiest way is just to walk in between 9 and 4. We're seeing about 95% of the people who walk in get seen within 30 minutes.
Thank you for doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, great work, Randy. Kudos to you for that.
Well, it's the team that's doing it. I will say that. That's for sure.
Irene,
Else?
Levert, anyone from the 9th floor, any other announcements?
No, I just want to say too that I had attended the housing summit on Saturday and skipped a couple of meetings with the mayor just to stay. And I thought all of those who had who had responsibility for that did a fantastic job. The speaker was great. I didn't get to hear her finish all of her presentation, but enough to know I do appreciate that she has been working with the state and will continue working as we kind of look at how we meet our needs in Wyandotte County. But I just want to say kudos to, I think, the committee and the group that did that. And I did stay as long as I could, but I thought it was great information and a good job that all who helped put that on.
It was a great morning, great afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being patient for us. Pam, do you have anything? I saw you unmuted.
I just wanted to ask Irene if she could give me a direct line that I could call her when this call is over, please, before we hang up.
Sure, 913-573-5011. I'll head up as soon as I close out here.
Okay, thank you.
Again, thank you all for your patience. We will, you think after 2 or 3 years of virtual meetings, I would figure all this out, but next time, I promise. So thank you all. Keep working hard for Wyandotte County. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.